So typically in old houses, you're going to get a lot of different surfaces that you've got to either make good or tile onto or plaster. In this example, you've got the original plasterboard. We've then got new plasterboard. And then coming over to the corner where the shower's going, we've got the original lathe and plaster. So we've got three surfaces. This luckily is doing nothing, so we can actually take the whole thing out. But on here, we're going to bring this out and put a little recess in for the bottles. We're going to put the shower mixer here as well, so you don't get freezing cold as soon as you turn it on. And then that's going to be brought out with timber and cement board, which you tile straight onto. And where it finishes here, we will then plaster all over this. We'll scratch it up, cover it in PVA, and then we'll run 2 coats of finish over, ready for painting. So often in older houses you find bits that you've either got to remove or get round, and in this case there's a cupboard the other side of this. You can see we've taken it off because it was lathe and plaster, which isn't solid to tile to. It was very loose, so you shouldn't bond your tiles onto that. So we've removed that. We've needed to extend this out, so we've got a flush surface for the inside wall of the shower. So the wet room's going in here. We've now extended this to 1100, which is the length of the wet room tray sitting in the floor. In order to do this, we've matched this up. So we've got it using a level. We can take a level through here. So you can see all the way across there, all of these points are meeting. So you're not going to have any waves in the wall, otherwise your tiling becomes a nightmare. And then most importantly, you've got to get a level on here to get that, thankfully, spot on. So the key thing when lining your stud work up is use your level, not just up and down, but sideways as well. So this wall is now perfectly plumb lengthways as well as widthways. Once this is done, we will use cement board, the various brands, Hardy Backer or many others. The important thing is cement board. Get it on plasterboard. You shouldn't really tile onto if there's a leak, heaven forbid. Plasterboard is not good. It absorbs moisture, it becomes mushy, and that creates a weakness. So we're using cement board and we'll fix it to this. We'll finish the cement board round the corner, and then we'll use a bead for the tiling to get a nice edge, and we will carry the tiling all the way through into the wet area. Now there's many types of stud work. You can get sawn, which is your rough treated. You can get prepared, which is a lot smoother, but a lot more expensive. With something like this, this is tannalized. This is the things that you'll run your floors in. You can pitch roofs with this. This is treated. So it's got a, if you like, a resistance against any moisture. You can get C16 or C24. That's just to do with the structure element. With this, we've just gone with a C24 4x2. So in English, that's 4 inches wide, 2 inches across. If you want to be exact, use metric, because if you get 4 inches on your tape, it actually finishes at about 96, 97 mil. So don't always gauge it to 100 as in the old 4 inch. As I say, with this, once you run it vertically, it is worth reinforcing. There's a tiny bit of movement. You want your tiling wall to be absolutely solid. So just use your offcuts. These were 2.4s, so we've got some small offcuts, and we will run them down to create an absolutely solid base to stop any lateral movement. So when your cement board goes on, this is absolutely solid, which is the perfect wall to then tile onto. So with a wet room or a shower enclosure, we always recommend to the client, think where you put your mixer, which is basically your on-off and your hot and cold. In the old days, you'd have it under the head. However, you walk in, you turn it on, you're going to get that instant cold water, which is freezing. So now, with the head being in the area, further away, we often put the mixer in either the stud work, or if it's block work, you can chase it into the block work. It's worth bearing in mind, most mixers allow for 4 inches. That's the depth from the front plate to the back where the pipes come out. If you use 2x2, you're often going to have your mixer poking out quite a bit away from the wall, which doesn't look good. So most mixers are about 4 inches, and this is going to sit perfectly in here. The other thing to bear in mind, where you fix your mixer, you want a solid back, because you've got to fix it with screws and plugs if need be. If this is just a piece of plasterboard, it's going to move. So with this, we know the other side of this is completely studded up. There's ply as well, because there's another bathroom. So we've got an absolutely solid fixing, and we can put our mixer here. So when you go in, you turn it on, and you wait those few seconds for it to get warm, and then you go into the shower. Rather than having it in the shower, and you turn it on and it's that instant cold water.